later, the core stage will terminate the cycle.
I don't know what's so special about this, man.
See it whipping.
And just a note out there to all the launch time for T0 specifically is 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. 22:35 and 12 seconds UTC for those around the world. About 30 seconds remaining to the planned swing away from the crew access on the the Orion spacecraft. The launch board system, which is the structure atop the Orion spacecraft, you can see that there with the American flag just above that red umbilical. That ability to use that emergency way of getting away from the rocket, if necessary, will become active for the crew beginning at T-5 minutes and 20 seconds. Once the last is active, the NASA test director will let Commander Lee Wiseman know that that is a viable option. Three-track go given. Arm is now swinging away. We're now less than 8 minutes away to the planned liftoff of the Space Launch System rocket on its first crewed flight. You can see this view from inside the White Room as the arm retracts away from the crew.
And we're learning now that the official time to be watching
and the spacecraft named Integrity. About 7.5 minutes remaining before the planned liftoff again. In about a little less than a minute and a half from now, the tank pressurization on the core stage will begin.
The fellow astronauts, or are you going through checklists? What's that moment like in these final minutes?
No, it's mostly pretty quiet. We all want to listen to what's going on, of course, and the commander usually has a few remarks to the crew right before liftoff, but mostly we're listening to the countdown.
Just under 7 minutes and counting now.
The astronauts.
Less than 1 minute to core tank pressurization and the launch sinks.
I'm not sure if you can see some of the live pictures that
and the
we're
Orion
showing
spacecraft
here.
transitions to internal power.
There it is. If you look closely, right at the top of the rocket, where the crew capsule is, the Orion capsule, that swings away. So this is standing alone. I know as you were strapped in, could you see that happening? Are the astronauts being made aware that they're now in a sense standing alone on that pad?
Yeah, we could not in the shuttle. I don't think they can either. But they're watching the clock, and then the engines will
After the
start.
6 minute mark in flights of the next major milestones beyond the launch board system being activated at T-5 minutes and 20 seconds.
Boy, when those whole rockets
The go for the flight termination system arming will happen at T-4 minutes and 30 seconds. Core stage auxiliary power
below what you can hear, before you can feel them for that first 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredible. We have some live visuals that are coming in from the Kennedy Space Center.
The replenish valve
and we're looking
is
at
now closed.
everything
The
is
core
a go.
stage
We're now
with the hydrogen
right
tank.
at 6 minutes here. And Terry, we had the pleasure of just
Under
talking
5
with
minutes
Jim
now.
Feinstein. He's the administrator. He was just speaking to
Launch board system capability will be
this
active for the
mission.
crew in about
He's a
10
former
seconds.
NASA administrator. So I want to ask you, Terry, because you've been an astronaut, but you were inspired to be in the space program. And so for many of us that are watching this, the importance of this mission and how it kind of shapes and evolves what we will see in the years and decades
TLS verifies
beyond this.
last capability available.
Well, we're explorers. It's in our DNA. We just want to get out there and explore, whether it's Antarctica or the deep ocean.
That stage capability now available to the crew if necessary. Confirmed by Commander Reed Weissman as we are now 5 minutes and
TLS
counting.
go for FTS on.
We've been vicariously sharing.
Terry, these 4 people, they're about to be the only 4 people that have flown on Orion and the SLS into space. That trip into space, about 8 minutes. The countdown clock is top left on your screen, by the way. Just hit 4:59.
LE2
So that's
high flow
happening
check.
in 5 minutes if everything stays on schedule. What would that 8 minutes be like? The trip from the pad into at least lower here.
This 8 minutes will be, the first 2 minutes will be very bumpy, like I said. Once you're out of the atmosphere, it's really quite amazing. The shuttle main engines back there are producing, they were a space shuttle, now they're the Artemis main engines, producing about 500,000 pounds of thrust each, but you can barely feel that up in the cabin. It's just a very slight buzz. In fact, I could remember hearing the fans on the computers in the space
4 minutes and counting.
It was that quiet. The more you're being pushed at 3 times the force of gravity during that time, so you know there's
This
a
is
lot
the
going on
auxiliary
behind you.
power unit on the core
Terry, I think
stage.
there's a lot of excitement, of course, for the launch itself, but there's pivotal moments beyond that, right? You said that 8-minute window. You have the boosters that are going to come off, and I know we're just now under 4 minutes from this moment. What's that like as an astronaut?
Just about 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Now the interim cryogenic propulsion stage
Is there a lot
locks,
of movement where you're
topping,
at? Or is it kind of
should
just,
terminate here.
hey, the momentum's carrying us and everything's going according to plan?
coming up to the final 3
Yeah, we're
minutes of the
watching. We're
count.
watching
When we
everything.
hit about
Normally the crew
2
doesn't
minutes
have
and
to do
2
anything
seconds,
during
the interim
launch,
cryogenic
although,
propulsion
the
stage will
space shuttle,
switch
I think, with
to
this
its
vehicle
internal
as well.
battery
The crew
power.
could manually
That'll be
take
followed
over,
seconds
but
later
there's
by
really,
the
no occasion for that to happen. So we're watching the computers, making sure everything
The core
is being
stage
done
switching to
properly.
internal power as well.
And then, like I said, that last
First
6 minutes is
solids
very
at 2
quiet.
minutes. The core
3
stage at
minutes.
T minus 1 minute.
Holy
30 seconds,
shit.
switching to internal power.
Guys, this is such a generational. This is such a
We're less than 3 minutes
generational
till liftoff of
movement right
Artemis II.
here.
3 minutes until launch.
Continuing
We'll
on with the
probably
terminal
dip
count
into
to a
NASA
liftoff
audio in
scheduled
about a
for
minute so we
6:35
can
and
get
12
that
seconds
full
Eastern time.
experience and get the latest information. Wanted to ask you though about the immediate journey. You mentioned how bumpy it gets. We go through max Q or maximum dynamic pressure.
You don't see the
crossroads
excitement?
between,
Oh.
atmospheric
I see the
density of
excitement.
rockets moving
I'm
at
way
that
different
point.
from you,
Once you get
and I
beyond that,
the excite.
is there some
I see the
relief,
excitement. I
Just
know
the
the
control there
excitement.
of those engines, you see that in motion.
Yes, yeah, quite a bit. That point of max Q that you referred to, max dynamic pressure, occurs around
Good
35,
testing of those
40,000 feet.
RS-25
Where
engines now
airliners
approaching the
fly,
final 2
except we're
minutes in
doing Mach
flight.
1.2
As a
or so.
reminder, those
We're going much faster
RS-25s
than
will
airliners, so
ignite
the
as
shock
planned
waves
at
on vehicles
T-minus
at that
6.
point.
6.36 seconds before liftoff is when those engines will come alive. We're less than 2 minutes.
The astronauts can look up at that point, just 2 minutes after launch. They can look up and the sky is very black.
And former NASA astronaut Terry Hart, thank you for being with us. I know you're going to watch this historic moment, but you know how important this is. We
In
are
this
now
the
going to
final
tune in
minute
with
and a half,
NASA.
the core
They're gonna
stage
go
will
through their
switch to
final
internal power
comms.
as well.
You're going to be able to listen to that moment. So we want to give a chance
The upper
for us to
stage
get
one.
into that coverage. Terry, thank you for staying by with
Good call
us and
out
all
there.
of our panelists that have been watching this
Should
along
hear
the
a
way.
call
Ian, I
for
think
the
this is
upper
an
stage
exciting
entering
moment.
terminal countdown
Right, there's been a
mode.
lot of anticipation, and now we're on the precipice
Holy
of this
shit.
historic launch for launch pad 39B.
A minute and 30 seconds to go. We've got 4 astronauts. The commander, Reed Wiseman.
Coming up
the
Oh my
pilot,
lord.
Victor Glover, mission specialist, Christina Cook.
This is
and
gonna
Jeremy
change the
Hansen,
world so
from the
much.
Canadian Space
Holy
Agency,
crap.
a mission
1 minute and
specialist.
counting.
These will become the 4 people.
Guys, I wish you were here in Florida with me right now.
Cheers across the press line here at the Kennedy Space Center.
Headed back to the moon.
Yeah, and historic moments are going to happen with this. Christina Cook is going to fly further than any woman's ever been. And so we're going to be looking at some of those type of moments that are going to unfold. But we are now 1 minute or less. Take a listen to NASA's final communications here, or the communications in the final minute.
Sequencer to the rocket's go for ALS. Autonomous
30
Launch
seconds and
Sequencer,
counting.
or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holes that could come from the ground.
T-minus.
The hydrogen
Come on.
burn off
Shortly after
igniters
liftoff,
will
T-minus
keep on
20.
at T-minus 12
The
seconds.
rocket and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
15 seconds.
TLS, go for ALS.
Great call
Hydrogen
out.
burner
The rocket
ignition.
is on its own.
10,
4 brave explorers
9,
ready to rock
8,
the most
7,
powerful rocket
6 should have
6,
RS-25 start. 5, 4,
4,
3,
ever
2,
launched.
1, 0, and
Launch!
liftoff of the Artemis II mission.
It's
The
going!
first crewed
here we
flight
go.
of the Orion
Holy
spacecraft.
shit!
The first
9,
humans to
8,
plan a trip
7,
beyond low Earth orbit
RS-25
has
engines
taken off from
lit.
Florida.
4,
Woo!
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
You both are just sitting back and wondering what the hell is wrong with me, while I'm just enjoying this.
Great voyage begins.
Woo!
I already got to see things like that in real life. I just hear them. It's not that exciting.
Houston, now controlling the flight of integrity of the Artemis II mission program.
Come on, keep going up.
The integrity
explode.
No, Justin. It will not explode. It won't. It won't explode. It won't.
Now about 1 minute in flight, the SLS rocket traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Hey, Bunny, it's already. Yeah, I know.
Engine's about to throttle back as it approaches max Q, the point of greatest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Confirmation past max
It's going.
throttling back up to 109% thrust capacity.
Mission elapsed passing 1 minute.
Bacon, you don't understand. It's going.
Now about a little more than a minute and a half into flight.
Integrity through max Q on punctually on.
Yeah. It's going. It's going. It's a historical event. Woo.
Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling at 600 miles per hour.
That roll maneuver we saw earlier, intentional to put the crew in the right orientation as the rocket continues to climb uphill.
First flight since the end of the
And a
Cold
good
War.
separation of those solids.
1 minute 50
Look at that disconnection. Look at that disconnection.
to 85%.
Wow.
Expected at 2 minutes.
5 solid rocket boosters chock full of shuttle heritage, having carried this crew on the first part of their journey.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Confirmed separation. Main engines throttling up, guidance converged.
75% of the initial thrust was those engines.
SM priming complete.
I have it here. Bunny, you can watch mine. I have it here.
Flight coming up next will be the jettison of the launch abort system. At that point in the mission, it will no longer be needed.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
Come on.
Now more than 3 minutes
Go
into
faster.
this flight of the Artemis II
2
crew.
minutes 45 seconds
on
of
board
mission
their
elapsed
Space
time
Launch
into the
System
Artemis II
rocket.
mission. Thrusters on integrity and upper stage
going.
confirmed in a ready state ahead of service
Alright.
module fairing separation.
Copy all, Span.
There go the covers for the launch
Up
abort
right
system.
now. Just a
Now
reason
it
to
has
look
been
up and
jettisoned.
cheers from everyone here at Kennedy Space Center.
Yes.
And incredible, but something very important just
It's
happened.
going.
We saw the 2 rockets, right? They
Orion
detached
integrity
down, and we're
now
waiting on
no
another
longer
critical
having
moment
the
in just a
launch
few
abort
minutes.
system.
That's right, so keep your eyes on that clock right now. I'm looking over my shoulder. We're 3:13 into flight. We're going to wait for 8:06. That's going to be when the core stage, we have main engine cutoff. And as I
And with
said
that
earlier,
protection
I
covering
always
now
hold my
gone.
breath until we have that, but they are off to a great start. While we are cheering here on the ground, and literally the building is shaking.
Windows
In
are
typical
open, as you
NASA
just
speak, they're
heard.
understated. All systems nominal.
It's all great.
Line entering
This
space.
is as usual.
First space
The
flight for
skies over
Jeremy
Florida,
Hansen,
the
the
skies then
second
over Georgia and
for
beyond seen.
Almost gone and out of view.
Integrity capsule
Now the
enter
wonderful
space.
into flight.
At this point right now,
Woo!
what are the
About 4
astronauts doing
minutes
inside the
time.
capsule?
Holding
We're
on?
watching
You expect
for
me to have words
the
right now?
first stage main engine cut
You've
off.
been
This
through
is
the most
unique
into
test.
space,
The
it's-
four
and that's why
RS-25
it still gets
engines
you.
will
Of
course
power
it does,
down.
yeah.
That
Anybody who's
followed
been
up
I'm
5
falling.
seconds later by
Just
the
a beautiful
of
example of
the
human
stage
audaciousness.
and the
So,
IC
everyone's enjoying
rocket's
themselves right now.
upper stage,
They're watching their
which will be
systems. They're
powered
feeling the
by
pressure.
an RL-10
It's
engine.
very rough on the rocket boosters until they come off, and now it's a smooth, accelerating ride.
Al, it was incredible, right?
Continuing
Clear
great
blue
tracking
skies,
views.
and you could just see it.
Yeah,
April
I mean,
Lift it
1st,
off from Earth and just shake us.
flight of
But
Artemis II
the
Launching.
flame, you know, it's one of those things that television, no matter what you watch, and our crews are terrific and the technology, but to see that flame in person, it's brighter than anything I've ever looked at with my naked eye.
Tom, you'd seen obviously this takeoff before. This is the first time with humans, though. Can you tell just from your human eye the power of it? I mean, does it look different? Does it sound any different?
I would say it feels
happens to be
different. You know, because the
named
truth is
as
Saturn,
well.
the Saturn V rocket, I wasn't here for that, but that's actually taller, but this is more powerful. And it literally it shook the building here. Good comms, that's critical. They reported all good comms. You don't want to be going up into space with bad comms. The other important note here is that Reed Weissman told Houston it was a great view.
Oh, you love to hear that. And speaking of views, Tom, what are we looking at right now? Do we know some of these angles that NASA's providing here? What is this here? Is this the
The back of the SLS, do we know? So we are going to be getting multiple camera views. They're taking a page from SpaceX, which puts a camera on everything.
Oh, they're already in space. Oh.
On everything. And we are going to get the views, and I can't quite tell what that is, but we're going to be getting views from literally watching main engine cut off. Again, that's going to happen at...
They're already in space, buddy.
4 good engines right now.
And I'm also in space. Look at this shit.
And then you will eventually, we expect, see the separation. Eventually, that's going to be the next main issue that we watch for very closely. Core stage separation at about 8:18.
So we're about 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes deep from that. How complicated is that process? Because I don't want to say that that's the whole thing can here because we just saw an incredible thing happen, but it's so critical.
It is very critical. It's so critical that they've made it as simple as possible. Few failure modes as you could have.
The other interesting
I like how someone just said AI.
Doing anything other than just
someone just called this shit AI.
Automated control from the ground. They have a joystick or a command stick, if you will. They can
apparently. Oh, hey, buddy, look, my hand is AI. Look at my 8 fingers on a single hand.
Our viewers here a visualization of what was going on there. And I'm going to ask the control room. That's the visualization.
Oh, look at my morphing ruler. It can turn from a metal rod into a wooden bookshelf in a pinch.
Actually, this might be right now. We're seeing the kind of the same image over our heads as well.
Water to infinity and beyond. WJVCNY for saying to infinity and beyond.
And from that moment, Tom, that's when sort of the real business, again, what we just saw was incredible, but the real business into space starts, the journey around the Earth, because it's not directly to the moon, it's around the Earth, and then around the moon.
That's right, and so they're going to spend, as I said, 24 hours.
Someone just said bullshit. What the? Who says that? Michael Jordan will be the great. April Fools. It goes through. April Fools. Not fake. Yeah, it's not fake, guys. Congratulations, tell them quit yapping.
It allows them to go farther than any humans ever. And so this is all about configuring for that move, and so far so good. So again, 8:06, we're going to see the core stage separate from the engine, and then we'll watch as Orion, once it's in orbit, they're going to deploy their solar arrays. That gives them power that they need.
And then, Tom, the rockets, as they break off, they fall into the Atlantic. Yep, we know. Oh, yeah, we fall into the Atlantic. And then this other piece, the other piece that is going to separate now, that will fall straight to
in some ways, this is harkening back
pure
to the old days of
cinematics up
Apollo,
here.
right? You know, SpaceX reuses some of their pieces,
which is incredible technology, and it's a game changer.
Amazing, but that's not what this is.
I could hear it, and I was looking at the countdown clock.
SRBs, and then they're going to be also eventually dropping that core.
And it's right here. If we can watch this live right here.
Here we go.
Actually, just listen in.
This camera.
Nominal main engine cut off, so the Mars 25s have done their job. Now we've got stage separation from the core.
Of seeing something so spectacular.
That looks smooth as can be. It's just beautiful, and how wonderful to actually see that on video.
Yeah, and again, since we're outside the NASA building, we hear the cheers about a second before we actually see them. They're a little bit ahead of us, but again, cheers for what we just witnessed there. It was a very quick shot, but you could see, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, is it the capsule that is coming off, or what exactly is coming out?
You know, Godspeed to all. Godspeed.
And then part of the reason that to circle the Earth before they head on their way to the moon is to make sure that the capsule is working, that everything is, that they can navigate, that they can drive this, that everything is working in perfect order.
Yeah, it's like going camping in your backyard before you go to Everest.
Just making sure everything works there. Tom, NASA's providing these visualizations, which this is not obviously what's happening right now, but these are ideas of what's happening, so we can sort of understand this is what it's going to look like right now.
Listen, I think that we are watching the latest cutting-edge technology at play. I mean, this is truly America at the cutting edge here. And I think it's important and relevant to take the moment and say, wow, we should be collectively, not as Americans, not as North Americans, but just as humans, proud of the achievement here. The humans have been able to do this. And we're about to go even further than ever before. It's exactly what they had hoped for, setting the stage to eventually put humans on the moon. And now, in your interviews, I know when you spoke to the crew, they thought their goal, their ultimate goal was that this would be a moment of unity for the world.
Exactly, because and they said that over and over. This is not about death. This is about what we can do, how we can stretch those outer limits, what we can discover as we get ready to make that landing.
And they're so humble. I think in one of the interviews that you or Tom did, they said they would be happy if the next interview is with the next Artemis crew, and they want this to keep going.
They almost want to be forgotten. They want to make their mark, get the job done, and then they want the spotlight on the next crew because they're going to go even further. You know, do you remember Apollo 10? Yeah. Most of us don't. Remember Apollo 11, right? But Apollo 10 set the stage for Apollo 11.
Ryan Chandler is with space fans out there witnessing this moment in history. Ryan, what was it like to watch from your vantage point there on the beach?
For PWD set, just a reminder, halfway on the secondary.
Can you hear Ryan?
Well, Ryan is speechless.
No, I can't hear program
right now.
25.
Ryan, I don't know if Ryan can hear us.
Flawlessly.
And just confirm
We love it. We love it.
Try to get Ryan's live TV.
Funny is still comprehending.
We need a launch.
The Capcom.
Job is it. They are testing new things, including a brand new toilet, which is very important. You know?
It's all on my monitor as well. Your stream and 2 lives.
Everybody kind of jokes at that, but you know, would you want to go to the moon without a working toilet? It's a brand new technology. They want to make sure that